My friends, tonight we'll be painting the ground type Sazabi from the last video in the German ambush color scheme. This video will tackle just the basic painting for now. We will tackle oil paint and weathering in the next video. But now, let's get to airbrushing. Any good painting session starts with priming the kit. Just be sure to wash the model first in soapy water, or just do what I did and rub it with a cloth and alcohol. Just be sure to get that dust and grease off the kit. Now you can see the Zimmert we added from the last video. Not gonna lie, I like how it's looking. It's actually looking cleaner than I expected, which will be really fun to paint and weather once we get to that. Now for the painting. I use Armored Komodo paint. They are a local brand here in the Philippines with a wide range of colors. So I picked those which will be appropriate to emulate the late war German ambush color scheme, the one with the spots. Cause in most illustrations of the Sazabi, it's either the two-tone camo green and yellow or the spotted late war colors, which I think will look way cooler for this build. So let's get started with the painting on this kit. Also, before that, the airbrush booth here, that's an airbrush booth. I actually made that myself, so let's get to painting. So I first did the red oxide undercoat, and you can already see the cast texture on the shield. This really is making me want to work on an armor model soon, preferably a tiger one. The next color will definitely add more interest to the surface, which is going to be desert tan. Now for the desert tan, I just added a smooth layer on the shield to do the freehand camouflage after this dries. But let's look at something a little bit more interesting, which is going to be the leg parts. Because from the last video, we did quite a lot of detailing on these leg parts, especially the Zimmert. It's looking pretty crispy here, not gonna lie. As you can see, it's pretty nice. This would look really good with washes later. When it comes to mixing ratios, I usually just do it by feel, but the bottom line is it should be the consistency of milk. And for doing a bit more precise work, watery milk and lower PSI on the compressor. There's no exact rule really, only guidelines to help you understand your tools better and how to do the mixing better. So this is how it's looking like so far, as you can see. Now let's do the legs. Freehand camouflage does take a while, so might as well ramble about future projects. I've been thinking about Zeko Eins and a Gundam Elysius. The Elysius because I actually want to paint this like an aircraft model, like a B2 Spirit. And the Zeko Eins because I really been wanting to tackle this design, but here in my country it's just so hard to find for a reasonable price. I actually can't even find one in general. It's been years since the last reprint, I think. But I think I can actually find one now using JB Vans. You can buy Japanese products, gunpla, through Mercari or Yahoo Auctions. Quite a lot of cheap and reasonably priced P-Bandai and Gundam-based limited kits, even regular releases and even built kits for customs. So once you start selecting the items you want, they'll keep the item on your warehouse for free for 30 days, so you can keep shopping for your next projects and get them shipped as one big order. If you register through my affiliate link, you can get 8 shipping coupons worth $86, which is pretty big savings. So thanks JB fans, I hope I can actually find the high-grade Zeko Eins for the project I've been talking about. Anyways, moving on. So for the green, I actually just found my olive drab on the stash. So here's how it's looking so far. Pretty good, to be honest, for what it is. This is definitely a first attempt at doing something like this. I've never done camouflage like this, so it's pretty okay. Of course, when it comes to tank modeling, this probably won't pass, but it is fun to do, and I actually can't wait to tackle a pretty historical color scheme for this one. But yeah, as you can see, this is how it's looking so far. So let's check out how I did the legs. A bit of story time kinda, but I actually redid most of the camouflage on the leg. I actually started changing my approaches when I approached the leg parts because some of the squiggly lines of the green and brown were just way too big. So I started adding the desert tan and I added quite a bit of brown, just a little bit, just so it's a little bit darker. And then I added some parts, as you can see there, I've been trying to cover up some of the other parts with the desert tan to make them look quite a bit smaller, though I will be refining most of this afterward. This won't be the last technique that we'll be talking about. So you can see how I'm adding a bit of patches of desert tan on the areas of themselves. I think it's pretty visible. I think so. Yeah, there you can see what I'm doing there. I'm adding desert tan on some of the parts to separate the squiggly lines of the green and the brown. I didn't show this on the clip, but I actually took the green and of course thinned it down a bit more watery and put it on the patches where I left it behind. And the brown too, with the same procedure basically. So watery paint, like milky water or water milk. And then I just lowered the PSI and added to those specific patches to do the green. So because as you can see, the desert tan did quite overwhelm the other parts. So that will be a pretty easy fix on the next video, because we will be tackling oil paints, because oil paints will actually help us define the colors that are already here. It's actually looking really fun and I can't wait to talk about it on the next video. So be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell to see the next video soon. Also, this ground up Sazabi is actually commissioned for a client which has been patiently waiting, so I'd like to say thank you to them. And if you're ever interested in getting a custom gunpla done, we can definitely talk about it on Discord. So that's how the legs are looking so far, and they definitely look more aesthetically pleasing camo pattern compared to what I did in the first place, which is visible here, which is definitely not how I ended up painting this later on. That's the reference I've been following most of this video actually, so it's not that accurate, but it's looking pretty close so far. I actually just painted the torso and the shoulders as one piece, which is visible here, and I already did the green camouflage first. Then I'm just gonna refine this later when I start adding the brown parts. So that's pretty much how it looked on the art actually, like almost the whole area here is painted like as is, and then I just added the brown afterwards. So I actually did start like painting the desert tan, which did separate some of the greens and the browns from each other, which looks definitely more aesthetic pleasing, which is the goal of what I want to do actually. So let's just keep going and let's see how it's looking once it's complete. In this clip, I'm actually just touching up the patches of brown that need more color that got overwhelmed by the up. Just tightening up the colors so that I can just finish with the airbrushing and get to the last part of this color scheme, which is the dots on each color. So this is how it's looking so far with the airbrushing done. Most of the airbrushing is done, but yeah, that's how it's looking like so far. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good at the moment. It's pretty light, but we'll definitely tone it down quite a bit once we start using the oil paints and the weathering. Now let's get to the dot part of the video. Now for the dotting, as you can see, I'm using Vallejo acrylics. Most of these are Vallejo, still Arcom on some of the others. Yeah, as you can see, those are the paints I'm using, Vallejo colors. I'm just using a dry palette with some paint drying retarder and some matte coat. So I'm just gonna do the green, and then afterward I'm just gonna keep applying the dots on like the other parts of the body. So in here, in this clip, I'm just adding the dots on the back skirt. So we're just gonna apply these randomly. Don't think about where it should go, where it wouldn't go, because once you actually start adding the other colors other than the green, like the yellow and the white and the brown, you're just gonna see that maybe this color would look better if it's like this. So you just change it into like brown again, or just put it on top. It's just acrylic paint, so just have fun, nothing to think about, just continue painting, and of course do what you think that would look really good on your model. That's pretty much it. Now let's check this out on the turntable, shall we? So my friends, how did I do? So this is the airbrushing of the ground type Sazabi. So this is looking pretty good so far, especially with those dots, definitely tying it all together. But the oil paint will definitely be the fun part, so I hope you stick around to that for the next video. And of course, I just want to say thank you for watching till the end, and thank you to JB fans. So feel free to check out the link in the description to get that 8 coupons, which are like 86 bucks of coupons for shipping. So yeah, that's about it. Please subscribe, like, or dislike if you didn't like it. So yeah, thank you so much and see you soon.